Roggin and Rodney on a Monday, August 4th already. Man, come on.
Yep.
Come on, Freddie, let's go. Dodgers in town this week. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Adam's been monitoring what's going on around the NBA. Adam, you've got something on Giannis now, right?
This is something I've been looking at since basically the start of the summer, guys. I thought if there was one big superstar who could be moved, and Kevin Durant was, yes, but I'm talking about a guy in his prime right now, that would be Giannis Antetokounmpo. And this came out earlier this morning on the Evil Four letter from Shams Charania.
What's the latest? Anything more there?
As we sit here on August 4th, sources tell me there is nothing set in stone about whether Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to stay in Milwaukee or whether he wants to leave elsewhere. He's been evaluating his future this entire offseason. I reported way back in mid-May that he's open-minded about whether his best fit is in Milwaukee or is it a trade elsewhere. That process has been continuing. There's been some real conversations he's having with his inner circle, from my understanding. And the one big question that is surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo, that's surrounding his camp, is can he win another championship? Is this Bucks roster built for this upcoming season, for 2026-27, for him to win another championship, his second championship? We know how bad he wants to do that. And so only Giannis Antetokounmpo can make that determination, and clearly he wants to do it on his own time. I will say this. There are multiple teams that I know of that are literally waiting right now on what decision Giannis Antetokounmpo makes, waiting to see, does he actually hit the market? Training camps don't start till mid-September.
So he doesn't name the teams that are watching the situation, but I think this is real. And when we talked about the Lakers, and you guys mentioned it with Dan Wojcicki a little bit earlier, still having that first-round pick that originally was going to Mark Williams last season before the trade was rescinded and Dalton Connect, they still have assets. They still have enough to make one more move.
Ooh, Adam, you putting it out there, huh?
And there's another guy that I think Milwaukee would be interested in if they were going to trade Giannis, and that's Austin Reeves. Now, we know Austin Reeves is going to be an unrestricted free agent or after this season. He might be a restricted free agent with the Lakers, but they're going to have to pay him $30 million. Do they want to do that? If Milwaukee's going to make a trade and move Giannis, they're going to want a young player and first-round picks. The Lakers have 2 first-round picks, and they have Austin Reeves. The Clippers, meanwhile, have 2 first-round picks, and they have Ivica Zubac. They both could make some interesting trade packages for Giannis Antetokounmpo, who does want to win. He is a dog. He does not – guys, his first All-Star game, he was out there like Sean Taylor, the late, great Sean Taylor. He didn't get the memo that you're not supposed to play hard.
In the Pro Bowl?
Yeah. Giannis Antetokounmpo plays hard all the time, no matter what level the game is at. He's different, and he does want to win again. Remember, he brought Milwaukee their first championship since Kareem, over 50 years back in 2021. So I would not be shocked if something could still happen. What's interesting, though, is remember what Milwaukee did. They extended and used that stretch waive provision on Dame Dollar. So they're going to have $20 million of dead cap money on their books over the next 5 years to do what? To bring in Miles Turner, to try to appease Giannis to stay with them. But I don't think he's at all, based on the report here from Shams Charania, committed to staying to Milwaukee right now. He's committed to winning more than anything else.
Yeah, but you don't think he'd go before the season. You're not saying they would do it before the season, or you are?
I think it's real. I think it has the potential to turn into that situation. Shams just said it. Teams are watching this. This is why you hold on to that flexibility for a star like this. When people criticize the Lakers, why didn't they go out and make one more move? This is the type of stuff you wait for. Somebody to get disgruntled, that's a superstar that becomes available out of nowhere. And I wouldn't say this is out of nowhere, but as you just mentioned there, Freddie, it's like, well, some people thought, we're going to wait to see how the Bucks look early in the season. If they're a middling team in the Eastern Conference, then maybe he asks out. Maybe he doesn't wait till then. Maybe he knows on paper they're just not going to be good enough. And I don't think they are. Honestly, truthfully. They might be top 6 in the Eastern Conference, but they're not one of the top teams. They haven't done enough. Miles Turner did not move me, them getting him. They lost Brook Lopez. Guess where he went? To the Clippers. His old buddy Brook Lopez. Would you like to reunite with him? I'm just saying, this is something you really have to look at if you're a fan of NBA basketball here in Los Angeles especially.
What do you think about that, Freddie? Huh? Okay, so listen, let's gamble here, Adam. If it were one of the two, where would he end up?
The Clippers, if they can hold on to Kawhi, James Harden, and Bradley Beal, now you're talking about losing Ivica Zubac, most likely, to bring in Giannis, but that's what it's going to take.
You're losing Austin Reeves, right?
Right,
So,
you got to give to get.
Yep.
You got to match up with the other team's deal, and there could be a bidding war. I think the Clippers are a little bit more enticing, but make no mistake, if Giannis could play with LeBron and Luka, that's also big for him. Like, him coming to the Western Conference, I don't know what that would do to the East. They might as well fold that thing up. This has happened so much with stars coming out West. But they're not going to send him to some other place in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee's not going to want to have to deal with him after this. So they're not going to do him dirty. While he doesn't have a no-trade clause, what Giannis could do, guys, is say, these are the two teams I'm interested in, and let them have a bidding war, and let Milwaukee get as much as they can for Giannis, so he does them a little bit of a favor on the way out. They get a nice trade package in return, but he also gets to go somewhere where he can win realistically right now.
Well, he needs to, if you really think about it. And if that's the case, what are you waiting for? I'm sure, Adam, I mean, you can look at the teams and go, yeah, I think they've got a shot, or they don't. And you're right. Who better to understand if they've got a shot than the guy on the team? Giannis knows that roster, and he's got a pretty good sense of what they'll do. You know, you don't want to be in no man's land. You don't want to be in the middle.
Right.
You don't want to win it or suck.
How old is Giannis right now?
He's 30.
How old is he?
He's 30. And
So
he
boy, he feels older than that, doesn't he?
Oh, he's been around for a bit now.
Yeah. Feels like he's older than that. But still, 30, you know, he won one, got that taste. So, yeah, he's thinking, I got to get another one at least.
Well, he's been saying, basically, do you remember a few years back, they were taking on the Lakers, I think it was, and he had a great game, and he pantomimed putting a crown on his head, basically saying, I'm the king now. I'm the best player in the league. And you can make that argument, but he's got to be on a team that has a chance to actually win it. He hasn't been for some time. He's good enough to still be a number one option on a championship team. He's still a top 3 player in this league. He really hasn't had much drop-off. If anything, last season he expanded his game. He was hitting mid-range shots. He realizes his athleticism is going to erode as he gets older. He has to actually have a shot out there. He showed it last season. I think if Giannis is available, guys, this is huge news because some thought it was put to bed this summer. Some thought, Milwaukee figured it out. They did enough to appease him. Doesn't sound like it today. Doesn't sound like that from the report we just heard.
So when does somebody pull the trigger on this? That's my question.
Here's what I think happens, Fred. A team is going to come to Milwaukee, and they're going to make an offer, the Godfather offer. And the Bucks front office is going to look at it and say, damn, that is something that's going to entice us. But they're not going to do it unless Giannis wants to go there. They're not going to blindside him because he's a legacy guy. He brought them a championship. They won't blindside him. They won't do him dirty. What they'll do is they'll say, Giannis, we got this offer. We like it. How would you feel about going there, though? And if he signs off on it, that's it. It's a done deal.
If you're in Milwaukee, and I'm not in the front office, I'm not, this would not be the Dodger way or even the Laker way. But if you're in Milwaukee, you said he's 30 years old. He brought you a championship. Why wouldn't you go do all you can to get him the pieces? And I know Dame thing didn't work. They had the pieces there. They're gone now. But why, at 30 years old, where he's got some more left in the tank, why wouldn't Milwaukee go, okay, we're going to build this again around you. We're going to make this happen for you.
I agree with you. But as you mentioned, they tried. They tried with Dame. He tears his Achilles, and that tandem never peaked as high as we thought it would anyways. Dame was 32 when he came over. He was a little bit older. He was slowing down a little bit. And they had injury issues in the playoffs, too. And obviously,
the fit wasn't quite like they thought it was going to be, right?
We thought that pick and roll would be unstoppable with them, too. But they gave up a ton of picks to bring in Jrue Holiday back in 2021, which did get them over the top. They worked with the New Orleans Pelicans. They won the championship. It was all worth it. F those picks if it gets you a championship, just like it did for the Rams a few years back. They did it. But there's a price to pay, and now they're paying it. They don't have a lot of assets left. That's why they had to stretch Dame and have $20 million of dead cap money on the books the next 5 years just so they could get under the cap and bring in Miles Turner. Like they've tried everything, but I think they're running out of options. And the only way to refill the cupboards, the only way to fill back up the war chest, is to now trade one of your superstars to bring in assets, first-round picks, and young players. And that might be the position they're in now.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that, no question.